but surely, I think they're getting their coffee.
Yeah.
Got the big mug.
Cheers with coffee. And if you have anything else in
Cheers.
there, it's okay. It's Cinco de Mayo. Cheers.
Yeah, we
Yes,
won't
it's
tell.
okay. Yeah, tell everybody.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 9:05. Let me do one more thing here. So before we start, let me go hop on real quick here. Give me 1 second. Um, so let me click on a button. So so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to May Cafecito 2021. Again, happy Cinco de Mayo to the Mexican community today. Celebrate, talk to your family, review what today really means for you. And again, congratulations to all of you. And welcome.
And welcome.
I hear an echo, so I apologize. So don't mind me. And welcome to May's Cafecito. Thank you guys for registering. We have over 30 people registered. So we have quite a big audience today. So I think I'm going to hand it off right now in a minute. I'm waiting for my Facebook live stream to be in connected. So it's going awfully slow. Um, so so today's Cafecito, we have Cleo Aquino and Joseph Rosario. So they will be our presenters for today. But before they begin to introduce themselves, I want to hand it over to our president of the Northwest Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So Madam President, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today, first and foremost, on this Cinco de Mayo, before you start celebrating, if you do. And I think this is a free-for-all. It's not Mexican Independence Day. Just remember that as you're drinking and you're celebrating, please don't say that. So I know my dear friend Joey posted this, and I'm going to go ahead and read it to you guys just for a little history, because I think it's wonderful. Cinco de Mayo isn't about celebrating Independence Day. So in 1861, Benito Juarez, a lawyer and member of the indigenous Zapotec tribe, was elected president of Mexico. And at the time, the country was in financial ruin. So after years of internal strife, and the new president was forced to default on debt payments to European government. In response, France, Britain, and Spain sent naval forces to Veracruz, Mexico, demanding repayment of Britain and Spain negotiated with Mexico and withdrew the forces. So there's your little bit of history of Cinco de Mayo. Now, we can go on and celebrate that. Even if you're not Mexican, it's all good. We're all, we all deal with Hispanics. We're all one. So thank you again for being here today. We have an exciting cafecito with my dear Cleo Aquino, one of my instructors, and my mentor, Joseph Rosario. Thank you so much for hosting this month's cafecito. And let's get started. I'm excited that you guys are all here today. Thank you again so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam President. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a big crowd, so we'll not be able to go around the room today. We are excited, part of the chamber. We are excited to announce that we are considering going live pretty soon, as the world's go in Chicago, Illinois. Let's stick to Chicago, right? We are starting to move to live, obviously live and careful as well. There's guidelines involved. So we are excited to look at the future, the next few months, rest of the year for possible live events. Stay tuned for that. But today is a Zoom virtual, so please, for those of you who are not on camera, if you want to go on the chat, everyone actually go on the chat, put down your name, tell us what you do and your contact information, phone number, and email address. Very important, okay? Your information will be shared amongst each other for networking. If you have questions for the presenters today or for the chamber, put those questions in the chat. Our secretary of the chamber, Northwest Hispanic Chamber, Ellen Weber, is here. She will be looking at the chat, checking once, checking twice. We also have Miguel Paloma, our board director, and that is it. So I am the founder of the Northwest Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which we started about 6 years ago. Currently today, I'm the executive director. Again, God bless you guys. Thank you guys for coming in today. So without further ado, I want to introduce our speakers of the day. We're going to kick us off. So I'm going to start with Cleo Aquino. So Cleo, welcome. Thank you for being here today. And if you want to share with the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, and then tell us all about what your company does, Spire Real Estate, and kick it on to you.
Yeah, and all that good stuff. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Madam President, Mario, Ellen, Miguel, for having myself and Joe Rosario, my friend and colleague here, to talk about, let's talk real estate. All right, let's just get to the heart of it. I have been a broker since 2013. And since then, I hold a managing broker's license. And the past year or so, I have myself and my two business partners, Carmen Chacala and Sue Miranda, we have opened Spire Real Estate School. And let's just be straight here. The reason why we built the school is for this main reason. Our mission is in our company name. So much so that every day, this is what we wake up to. We create successful paths in real estate. And this profession has given us so much, both personally and professionally, that we wanted to share this with so many people. We love what we do. I know that I sound like I'm on a soapbox and everything, but I get so excited. And Violetta and Joe, they know I can talk about real estate and this profession for 24 hours. That's how much I love our profession. And the reason being that being a licensed professional matters is because it is such a noble profession. You know, we know that there's a lot of brokers out there and so on, but I think one of the things that we don't really talk about is what is our impact as a broker? You know, what do we do out there? How do we give back to the community? And in that, Spire was created to provide those licensing programs for individuals who want to create their own business, as well as give back to the community. We do this every day. You know, we take on all that stress and all that work for our community. So what we mean by that is this. When you are a licensed professional, it is so exciting. Joe, smile with me, okay? This is how exciting it is. When you are licensed, not only do we work with residential individuals, we also can work in the commercial space, in the industrial space. Have you guys heard of Amazon? Right? Maybe. Are you guys like, subscribers there? Just a few? I know I am.
Yes.
You can find those spaces for Amazon distribution centers. Every time you walk out in the street, the places that you're in, the beautiful houses that you're in, the office space, that's us. That's us as brokers. We have an impact in everyday life. This is why I hold this profession so dear. And the other thing is that our networking, our networks, both professional and personal, they go so deep. And it's so evident in becoming a member of the Northwest Chamber of Commerce. Sorry, Hispanic. Sorry, I forgot that little one, All this comes into being a licensed professional. So if I can just take a moment here, what does it take to be a licensed professional? There are state standards. Every state, we got 50 states plus Washington, D.C. We know they love to be special. Every state has its own standards, and we provide those licensing programs for that ability to help you meet those state standards. Also, you have to be under a sponsor, meaning a managing broker, a sponsorship. And then after that, we also have continuing education. I have really just placed that in a huge macro, but it's really about what do you want to do with the license that you earn, okay? When you have a license or when you go into real estate, let me ask you this. How many of you guys have watched HGTV? Don't be shy. I know I'm one of them, okay? I will YouTube it. And are we not kind of like wowed by it and also a little critical about it as well? Please don't be in denial. I know you want to say yes, right? I know you want to say yes. Well, that HGTV work, that comes from a lot of production, but it's also driven by a real estate professional, a licensed professional, okay? When you go into that sector, when you become a real estate licensed professional, you also have this innate ability to be a visionary. Do we not see beyond the walls, or the bad chip paint, the bad flooring, right? So as a licensed professional, you have to have that vision of what it can become for others. And we also share that dream for other people. That's why we love what we do. And Inspire, we create those paths. Let's create those paths together. You know, as I was talking with Joe last night, like, what are we going to talk about today? You know, just to kind of solidify that. But I think one of the things that we definitely hold dear, and Joe, if you can pipe in with me, is he had researched this one article about the impact that one broker has on the economy. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Joe?
Yeah, thank you, Cleo, and thank you to the Chamber for having us. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. But one of the real estate is a really exciting place to be, and for a lot of different reasons. When I got into it 15 years ago, I got into it just as a way to make some extra money. You know, I looked at my 9 to 5 as a way to pay my bills, and real estate as a way to get ahead. And that's really kind of how I got into it. I had a huge passion for investing in real estate and looking at it as a way to build passive income. And now, you know, having had a chance to really build a business inside of real estate, you get to see all of the different people that come together in a transaction, how many jobs are created in one transaction working with one family. Everything from starting, you know, from on the realtor side, you know, you have the real estate school like Spire and Cleo, and their support staff. You have the instructors on the real estate side. Once the agent gets in, you have, and then the people that they work with on a daily basis, the realtors, so, you know, the family, and the people at the bank who help them get their statements, and the loan officer, and the inspector, and the attorney, and the attorney's team. So you're creating multiple jobs off of one transaction, and it's just a super humbling and a really rewarding experience. And it's really rewarding when you get to help a family, you know, whether it's our team works a lot in the Hispanic community. So, you know, working with an immigrant family who's a big part of our clientele, thinking that they could never achieve the American dream, and finding ways and having partners to help them achieve that. Super rewarding. And so I had a chance to kind of talk to Cleo about that last night, and we were just kind of, you know, brainstorming, and it was just really eye-opening. So not sure if you guys.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, you know, if you're coming from the buy side, like Joe had alluded to, we create jobs for the economy. You know, a broker, as Joe was saying, mortgage lender, the underwriter, the assistance for that, you know, and that's just the financing part of it. That doesn't include the inspector, the general contractor, a plumber, electrician, safety and security, attorneys, both sides, brokers, okay?
Insurance. I mean, it's
Insurance. Oh, how do we forget insurance? That's impossible. I'm so sorry for my colleagues here who work in the insurance field. But the impact of the financial impact that we have as a whole is pretty deep. We have a direct impact of how economy is made. The one thing that, you know, when we service clients in any area of real estate, residential, commercial, agriculture, industrial, special purpose, special use, property management, ask me what my budget is. I start with 6 figures, and that's without the decimal points. I start with 6, sometimes 7 figures. So as real estate licensed professionals, the expectations for us is so much higher because of the number that we deal with. And so we don't take that very lightly. You know, I know there's a lot of posts out there of wonderful, you know, perfect shots of brokers saying, just sold, right? Just sold. That 2 seconds of a post represents a good 6 to 9 months of work, okay? So it isn't that flashy thing. It's really a lot of work goes behind the scenes, Okay, definitely behind the scenes. We wear a lot of hats, but the main focus is that we find solutions for clients in any aspect of real estate. The other thing when you're a licensed professional, or if you go into real estate, you're not just confined to the state that we live in. So my colleagues here in the room here, I am based in Illinois. Our company is based in Illinois, but we have an outreach across 50 states. So that's pretty huge. We're starting to see a lot of contingencies, a lot of individuals having interest in Florida, Texas, Arizona, any other states, my colleagues. What other states interest you? It's just us. So what if it's being recorded? Come on, it's just us. Any other state? Or how about countries? Where do you guys want to go?
Mexico.
Mexico, Madam President, you speak, that's music, right? It's music. With that said, once you go into real estate, your world is so much bigger than the area that you live in. So that's what Joe, myself, Violetta, Madam President, our executive director, Mario, this is what we're trying to convey. Real estate is so much bigger than the confines of where you are. The other thing is this, okay? Because I just said, and Joe has alluded to this earlier, that when we deal with six figures, it's not cheap, right? Real estate is not like, hey, it's 20 bucks. Just like, no, right? It's not. Because of that, we really, even if you choose not to go into the profession, we in our own profession, we highly recommend that at least to have a solid understanding of real estate. Real estate as your home is part of your investment portfolio. It may not feel like it when you're writing out that mortgage payment every month, but it is definitely part of your financial portfolio. And that is something to take care of as well. So whether you choose to go into real estate as a profession, as a business, and as a business, we are CEOs, at least take the time to understand what does it mean to own this huge asset. It is a huge asset. It's a wonderful asset to have. And I am so lucky to find this profession, okay? I've had several careers. I've been in public accounting. I've been in Chicago public schools. That's an eye-opener. But the one that has kept me true is real estate, both by owning property and rentals, as well as owning my own home. And because of this, I continue to give back to the community. I choose to do that, as well as my business partners. They are savvy, they are compassionate business leaders. And because of that, we continue to keep growing within the community. Again, I could talk forever about real estate. Joe, cut me off here.
No, not cutting you off at all. Great information. As you can see, we have 3,000 people in the audience where I'm at.
Oh, no pressure, Mario. No pressure.
So thank you, Cleo and Joseph. So maybe I'll start with another question from what you're saying. So I love what you're saying, your background, Joseph, Joe, and Cleo. You mentioned guys, you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, you can hear the passion in their voices, right? That's when you know you found your career. When you can talk about what you do passionately, that's when you know, hey, this is what I love to do. So what would you say to those young entrepreneurs, college students right now about to enter the workforce? Or as a matter of fact, from what I've been seeing, a lot of people are going into entrepreneurship, which is great, right? But I think Joe mentioned it. He mentioned passive, I think he said passive income, right, Joe? Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct. So either of you can answer this, or both of you answer. We would like to hear maybe what advice do you have, even for some of us are thinking about maybe jumping into real estate, because it is a very good commodity. What advice or information would you want to give us for those thinking about it, that you went through your growing pains the first few years as maybe future realtors?
Go ahead, Joe.
All right, cool. So this is one of my favorite topics. So as far as if you've had any sort of inclination, I would say to go ahead and take a serious look at it. A lot of people come in from I was having the conversation again with Cleo last night, and we were talking about franchises, right? And the thing that I love about real estate is that you're working with a tangible product that everyone needs. You know, a lot of people hesitate on getting into real estate because they think it's sales, right? The thing that I love about real estate is that I don't have to convince Cleo that she needs a home. She needs a roof over her head. I don't have to twist her arm for it, right? It's like, well, do you want to rent or do you want to own, and where, right? That's the part that I love about real estate, is that there's houses all over the world. And so that's the part that I love about our industry, is that you really get to focus on, you know, the things that you get passionate about. I love talking about building up a portfolio of properties that help you, or assets that help you, that help spit off cash flow. So I love multifams, but there's other people that love condos. There's other people that love international real estate, Airbnbs, businesses. I mean, there's so many different ways. There's different, I think that Cleo came up with Cleo and our partner came up with like 19 different ways that you can make money in real estate. So there's just so many different ways and avenues that you can approach real estate. For anyone that's thinking about it, I would say that real estate, it can be scary at the beginning because it's commission only, right? So you can make a ton of money, but there's also a gap of time. We were talking about the recognition piece. People don't see the length of time that it takes to get a deal under contract. You know, from the time that you get the customer interested, to having them meet with the loan officer, to make sure that they're ready to get approved for a loan, to start showing them houses. And especially in a market like we have today, where you know, we have a shortage in inventory all over the country. So this isn't just a Chicago thing. And, you know, to actually to the point where you get to closing, sometimes it could take, you know, a few months, and that's a few months where you don't have any income coming in. So for anyone that's new, I would say do it. It's a great way to, you know, get ahead. We have a ton of people that get in just to make an extra 500 or $1,000 a month, and that could change their lives. And we have people that in one sale can make $5,000 to $10,000. So it's like, you know, just for helping one family. You know, what if you mess up and do it once a month? You know, what if you mess up really bad and you do 2 sales a month and you start making $10,000 to $20,000 a month? Make it really be life-changing. So, you know, for Mario, if you're thinking about it, I would say, man, I got to take you off of coffee. We got to talk about this. And for anyone else, I would say just get your questions answered. You know, it's a great industry to be in. Again, you know, it's a great way to network, meet other great people. You know, you get to meet people that are you know, I've had a chance to meet great people that have huge hearts, love helping people. It's a super humbling experience when you get to take a family to look at a house and they're already thinking about the future. Like, yeah, you know, I'm thinking about getting married, and you know, we're gonna raise our families here, and they start talking about all this stuff that you get to be a part of. On the flip side of it, when they're looking to exit the property, a lot of times it's a property that's helped them cash flow and make extra money. Sometimes it's a property that they've lived in for 40, 50 years, and they've raised their family in there, and there's all the memories. So it's just a super rewarding career to be in. Again, I love the flexibility, and I love the income that you can make from it. So there's not a lot of jobs where you can come in and make 6 figures right off the bat. And this is definitely one of them. So again, and for anyone that's, you know, been on the fence, I would say get your questions answered. You know, definitely take a serious look at it. There's a lot of opportunity, especially in this market. In this market, you can be bad and make a ton of money. So I would say definitely check it out. You know, finding a mentor, finding someone that'll take you, you know, by the hand to show you the ropes is super important. So that's one of the things that you'll want to ask, you know, when you're taking a look at this. And you know, if there's anything that you guys want to know right now, I'd love to answer any questions, or, you know, maybe set up a time to kind of talk about it some more.
Yeah,
I have a question. So I see that there's a lot more different brokers out there. It used to be, you know, you had your traditional Remax and Century 21. There's so many more paths now into real estate. So do you suggest that people find their broker first before they take the classes, or take the classes then find the brokers? What's the best path to go forward to start to enter the arena?
I think that's a great question. So, so first of all, I would say talk to Cleo and Spire. So like Cleo mentioned before, there is a big, well, it could be a pretty substantial money commitment up front for some people. And I think that a great first step would be to talk to Cleo and to Spire just to find out what the progression plan looks like. And then we work hand in hand. So you know, at that point, once Cleo and the school, and Cleo can, I'd hope that you get to kind of speak on this some more. We work hand in hand. So once the student is ready, then we can take them on board and we could put them through the educational piece of, and helping and showing them the ropes. But Cleo, do you want to kind of speak on that?
Yeah, so, you know, I see there's like 40 messages somewhere in the chat. So it's so exciting to see a lot of questions and involvement there. So let's break it down, okay? Let's start with the path of a individual who wants to become a licensed professional. And what does that really mean? From the state of Illinois, and we're just going to talk for the state of Illinois here, is that these are the requirements. Individuals, they have to pass a 75-hour course, okay, of which Spire is very state approved. We have all the licenses and everything and certificates and approvals. Number two, you have to pass a Illinois state license exam. It's 150 multiple choice questions. It is challenging, but it is passable. Okay, it is very challenging, but passable. Once you have those two, you also have to at least be 18 years old. I know that doesn't apply to many people in this room, right? Right? Okay, just kidding. All right, you know, I should stop trying to be like a monologue here. I'll just taper that down. You have to have a high school diploma or something equivalent like a GED. Next one is that you have a social security number or a tax identification number, good moral character, and upon that, you'll have to be what's called, you're going to take your license and place it under what's called a sponsoring broker. Okay. Now that is after you've done all the substantial work. Okay. Upon that, once you pass the license exam, you're going to place your license under a sponsoring broker. Once you do that, there is an additional 45-hour post. Okay, that is a 45-hour post. And with that, it's just more education. In the first year, both by state standards as well as Spire, we front load a lot of information to you, okay? One, it's required by law, but number two, we feel that it better serves you at the end. You're not gonna have all the answers in the first year. Don't even fake it, don't even try, okay? Learn from my mistakes. Okay, learn from my mistakes. You have to associate yourself, be with someone who spends the time to actually coach you. That first year or two, in any capacity of real estate that you choose to specialize in, this is your learning curve. On a daily basis, we have to consult, we have to advise our clients, we have a fiduciary responsibility for our clients. And in addition to that, we read and write contracts. You may want to be that's definitely a skill set you want to master. Compliance, 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 as well as the skill set of selling, okay? Perhaps I shouldn't use the word sell because sometimes it has that kind of icky feeling of that you're like a kind of salesperson thing. But Joe, myself, and other colleagues in the profession, we find solutions. We find solutions for our clients, okay? And that's our role, that's what we do. Once you have that, then that's really being in the brokerage world. Now, I wanna be very clear here. The term brokerage, okay, in real estate, you can do fix and flips, you can own companies, you know, that specialize in real estate. But in many of those cases, it does require a license. And the value of the license is that it is a way that it helps to protect the public that we serve. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why we have the Real Estate License Act. We have to be in compliance so that we're able to serve our public, our clients, our constituents very well. Okay, that's all I got for you. Okay, that's all I got. Joe. Anything?
Yeah. So if I could just kind of share a little bit of my backstory. So I've been in real estate now for 15 years. The first 10 were a struggle. I really wanted to go full time in real estate. That was always my dream. But I bounced around from brokerage to brokerage, just looking for a mentor, someone to show me the ropes. I work with friends, family, and it never was what I thought it was gonna be. At the beginning, obviously the educational piece is super important, but being proactive and treating it like a business. We kind of joked around last night with Cleo, and I said, sometimes the cost of entry into real estate is so low. I know it's a lot of money up front, but a lot of people don't put the time and effort into it to really turn it into a successful business. And I think that a lot of home-based businesses have the same challenges that we do. I kind of joked around and I said, if someone spent $1 million in opening up a McDonald's, how well would they know how to work the McFlurry machine? And I think that a lot of times in real estate, they kind of don't do that. I would say find a company that has a great mentorship program. One of the things that our company prides itself on is that we do over 50 hours of training a week, and we have live programs. So you want to find a program that's suitable for you, in the way that you learn best. And there's a lot of great companies out there. Some of the ones that were mentioned already, and I think that with technology, the future of real estate is changing a lot, and I think that that's why you're seeing new companies enter the market. And also finding like what it is that you want to do in real estate. A lot of local brokerages focus on residential. Maybe you want to do commercial, maybe you want to do international real estate. So just kind of knowing what it is that you're passionate about and making sure that whoever you align yourself with has the same opportunities that you're looking for. So there's a lot of great questions to ask. And if you ever need any insight, feedback, want to talk to someone in real estate, definitely feel free to reach out to Cleo or myself. We're both really easy to find online. And then, we'll make sure that you guys have our information as well, but would love to connect with anyone who's, kind of considering maybe getting into real estate.
Yeah. I think I saw somebody raise their hand. Ms. Fernandez, does someone have a question? No, not so much.
Yes, sorry about that.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Quick question. So I actually taken the brokers. I went to broker school twice, and I'm not successful at it because one, I have a lot going on, and two,
Sure.
it doesn't work out for my schedule. So I was wondering if you have private. I don't know if it would be like tutoring or if you have private instead of having a full-on class, because when you're doing it as a class, it's a strict date and time. And I need more flexibility. So that's kind of where I'm not as successful as most, because I run multiple businesses and I have a full-time job too. So.
So she is usually our most common individual who comes into our school. So the thing about how we schedule everything is that we recognize that at this time, individuals who come into Spire classrooms, we know that they have a passion for real estate. That is a given. Mm-hmm. However, we also know that they are carrying 2 to 3 jobs, and that's on the low end, that's on the low end. So their time is very valuable, and we recognize that. So in terms of classes, which does not apply to your situation, we offer Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturdays, okay? And you start on, so it typically takes about 6 to 7 weeks for an individual to complete the course. But right. Your 6 to 7 weeks begins the day that you enter class. So we have what's called a rolling registration. If you want to start on Thursday, awesome. Welcome to our rooms. Then your 7 weeks starts from there. Okay. Now, in your situation regarding you've already gone through a class. Okay. Let's have just a private conversation because I want to know more of what you need. But we will be rolling out kind of like exam, get you prepped for the actual license exam. Okay. We haven't scheduled that. We're in the process of doing it. So we hope to roll that out probably in the next month or so. So that might be a better fit for you, but let's keep in touch. Okay. So I can get a better understanding. Okay. Oh, are Airbnb still profitable? That is an interesting question. Anyone? Silence? I think it just depends of where your property is located. Okay, so for example, welcome to my home, everyone. I live in South Loop and I live in a condominium. I also serve on the board. So no, we don't do Airbnb in my condo, not so much. Airbnb is very specific to the location and to the area that you serve. So can it be profitable? You bet. However, I would also caution it in that you also have to understand and apply for those licenses and permits depending where your property is located. Is it profitable? Sure it is, okay? But everything is about the numbers. How do you work the numbers, okay? And think, I gotta say this, all right? Think net, okay? What is the net? Including your acquisition costs, your maintenance costs, your risk management costs, all of that gets into consideration, okay? So when they say, is real estate profitable? Sure it is. Is it expensive? Sure it is. Can you lose money? You bet. But the one thing that you have to learn is know the numbers. How do the numbers flow? And once you do that, you're really able to manage your own business.
If I could piggyback off of that
Yeah,
idea.
Of course.
So one of the things that I love about some of the strategies that we use in real estate, and one of the advantages that we have, I was talking to Violeta a couple of days ago about picking up a second property, and we were looking at international real estate. So right now we're considering properties, down south, maybe Florida or maybe even another country. But using Airbnb as a strategy to generate income while the property is vacant is a great way to cover your overhead, right? So maybe it just allows you to have a second property somewhere else where, maybe it's generating positive cash flow, but maybe it's just covering its overhead, and it allows you the opportunity to have a second property, wherever you really enjoy traveling to. Maybe it's not just in Chicago, maybe it's in Miami, maybe it's in Orlando, maybe it's in Dallas. There's a lot of hot markets right now, and that people really enjoy traveling to. I know that some of the people on the team are now looking at investing in Tulum, Mexico. I know that some of the people are also considering like Medellin, Colombia, Cartagena. So if you had the chance to invest in property in other places outside of your backyard, would you? How much would it cost? And using a program like Airbnb, could you cover your overhead to where it would make sense to have a second property somewhere else that you could enjoy whenever you want? So I think that Airbnb has a couple of really great strategies behind it. A lot of people use it just to get ahead. Some people use it just to pay off their second property. I think that, to Cleo's point, it really depends on the market. But aside from the market, is what's your reason for getting a second property that you want to Airbnb? If it's just to have a second home, then I think that Airbnb is a great strategy just to, allow you a second property with very little overhead.
Yeah, agreed. So, Joe and myself, we've given the whole, this is awesome, right? This is the best industry ever. But the serious side of us, this is where we pull our business hat, is that make sure that in any type of profession, any type of business that you choose to engage in, I hear my business partner's a voice in me, Cleo, know your numbers. That's Carmen. Know thy numbers. It's almost a commandment. Know thy numbers, because that will give you a really strong benchmark of your success as well as areas to improve on. Know thy numbers and also know thy risk. Okay. Like we said, real estate, incredible industry. I am blessed by it, but also know thy numbers and also know thy risk. So,
Cleo, we have a question on
Yeah.
what separates Spire from all the other education paths into the industry. What separates you from the rest?
Ooh, that's very deep. Very deep. So why Spire? Okay, aside from that, it is our mission to create successful paths in real estate. That is drilled in my head. Here's the thing. The three pillars of how we approach our education is this. Number one, we want our students, and here's, you could tell that I get so excited that at times I trip over my words, but this is me, okay? This is me. That's how excited I get. When we look at individuals coming into our classrooms, yeah, for now, maybe I know a little bit more than you, but you are my colleagues. You are my colleagues in this classroom. So that one day, our goal is now that you guys become the teacher. Teach me something, okay? I'll teach you, I'll support you to get your license, you know, but one day we want you to teach us. That is the goal. So it becomes the circle, okay? We want our colleagues, our student colleagues, to be the bomb, be it, okay? I could use stronger words, but this is being recorded, so I won't. We want you to be that level, okay? So number one, we teach you the concepts. This is the concept, this is the language of how we speak in real estate. So that's number one. Number two, because we are licensing and training, a big thing is your testing. Okay, let's look at this. What's our testing strategy? How do you interpret a question? What are they looking for? That's how deep we get. Okay, so that's number two. And number three, myself, Carmen, Sue, as well as my colleagues in the room, we are brokers. We are active in the market. So we understand the stress level, we understand the risk that our student colleagues are going to take on. So we can speak directly to that experience. Am I going to know everything? No, because the industry is so big. Each transaction is very unique. There is a process, no doubt, but each transaction is so unique because of the individuals that goes into the transaction. So all of a sudden, you're going to have to dig deep. Let's just be clear. You're going to have to dig deep. We have our own personal strengths, but in real estate, you're going to have to rise to the occasion. Why? Yes, we do get paid well, but it's with the expectation that we serve well. Okay? So that makes us unique. We understand the industry. And also on another note, the other thing when I say that we are active, myself and my business partners, not only do we understand, we can talk the day-to-day stuff with you of what you're going to experience, but we also take the stance of contributing and protecting our industry. That is very dear to me, okay? So I am of Asian heritage, and thank you for making me an honorary member here for the Northwest Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. But with that said, we protect our industry. We understand, we look at the legislation coming down. Is it serving our clients? Is it serving our industry? Is there harm? Okay. So we take an active stance. We say, hey, Senator, hey, let's look at this. Let's think of it this way. We work with property managers, building owners. Hey, you know, this is being recorded. Let me just kind of taper it down a little bit. Is this causing harm? Is there potential harm in this type of legislation for the future of real estate and for the clients that we serve? Let's take a look at it. Let's work together. Let's build that bridge. So Spire, I know it sounds like we're all over the place, but real estate is all over the place. So that's why we kind of divide and conquer, between myself and my business partners and the colleagues that are in this room. Again, I can talk about real estate for 24 hours a day, so y'all just got to cut me off. Okay?
Thank you, Cleo. No, thank you so much. And I love, I learned this from Joe. When we talk about real estate, the one thing we don't have to convince anyone that we need somewhere to live, right? I love that. We all need somewhere to live. Either we rent, either we own, either we Airbnb, someone's going to live there, we vacation and go stay somewhere. So real estate is important and it's a great way. I think it's one of the #1 ways to build wealth. So super important to know. Thank you so much for the valuable information. Ellen.
Before we wrap up, we have one more question from Joyce in the chat. Is it, so what's the rule of thumb on refinance? She's heard that it shouldn't be sooner than 7 years after your last refi purchase. And no, it shouldn't be sooner than 7 years after your last refi or purchase, and don't refinance less than 2 points of a difference. Is that a good rule of thumb? It's in the chat.
I can actually answer that for you, Joyce. I mean, there's no set time. It just, we have to analyze and see what the, I'm in the mortgage industry, sorry, but I had to answer that one. So there's no set, we can actually talk after if you'd like. It just depends on your value, your credit, and your needs. So we have to evaluate what your needs are. There's no set time. So yeah, you can, I can put my number in the chat. You can give me a call and we can discuss further if you'd like.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so round of applause, everybody. Virtual applause for Cleo Aquino and Joseph Rosario. So their information is on our website. They are members of the Northwest Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So please reach out to them. We were Facebook Live today, so you'll see this feed come across on your Facebook page. So all of you who don't follow us on Facebook, please do. We are the Northwest Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Follow us there. This video will be also uploaded to our YouTube channel. So if you're not a member, please become one. So once again, a lot of questions, probably more questions could be created from what we heard today. But really big thank you to Cleo and Joe. Great presentation, great interaction. So, all right, so it's 9:51 a.m. And I just want to thank all of you. I think we're going to take a quick picture.
I have one question.
Yep.
As a board, we've been talking about when we go back to in-person meetings. Quick poll, if you on this call today would support an in-person meeting, would you raise your hand? Are you guys ready?
All right, yeah, everyone is, yeah.
Okay,
All right,
good to know.
good to know. All right, so we want to take our cups, our cafecito, whatever we're drinking. Any cup, doesn't matter. If you don't have one, just imaginary. And I don't know who's going to take the picture.
I'll take it.
All right, thanks, Violetta.
Let me switch.
All right,
hands.
whenever you're ready.
Hold on. I can't
It's
do
a
both.
baby, Angie. He's gorgeous.
Got it.
All
Thank
right.
you, everyone. Thanks for
Thank you,
being
guys.
here today.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great Cinco de Mayo. Celebrate. God bless. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
And
everyone.
thank you.